Oh, what? This meeting is being recorded. Okay.
Yes, this meeting is being recorded. Tremendously on time. Should we start this?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's grab that lottery ticket while we can.
Totally. Welcome to Everyone Racers, a show designed to be on time for once. And oddball car culture. It doesn't matter what kind of Lemma Champ or Lucky Track Dog League you run, SCC or NASA, we won't discriminate, as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussions, tips, tricks, news and notes from the world of amateur endurance racing, and whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, and we're lucky enough, and Chrissy gives us just the tip, we're sure you'll giggle a little and learn even less. Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mental.
And we are Everyone Racers. Thank you for coming back and listening to a See the USA in Your Chevrolet episode of our podcast. It's episode 210.
See the USA in your Chevrolet.
Thank you.
Sorry.
The Chevy 210 series, introduced for the 1953 model year, replaced the Styleline Deluxe series. Now, why don't we have cars that are named things like the Styleline Deluxe?
Seriously,
right?
like
that's great.
Fairlane, Skyview, yeah.
Styleline Deluxe. Anyway, it was the best-selling Chevrolet during 53 and 54. Nicer than the base 150, cheaper than the Bel Air. The 210s are available as convertibles, sport coupes, 2 and 4-door sedans, as well as a wagon. That is a complete lineup. If you're not touring the nation in your Chevy, get that E1R bingo card. And hey, PSA about the bingo card, something we learned tonight. Every week, if you just click on the link, you're going to get the exact same bingo card. You might have noticed this.
And you might be mad about it.
You can reset it and it still stays the same. So the way to get a new bingo card is to go to the help button at the top, and then it pops up a little pop-up, and the fourth link down is to receive a random new card from this set of 30 cards. Click here, click there, and you'll get a new card.
Yeah. They want us to pay for it to continue to randomize it or hide it under the help button. And you know we are cheap bastards, and we are not going to do that. So just go to the help button.
Yeah, I would accept I would accept ads on this, but if we had money for like paying for E1R bingo cards, we would totally spend it on swag to give people at race tires or something,
or beer, claws.
Yeah.
Claws, without
liquor, tequila,
all right,
whiskey.
I'd like to mention that I totally found a new end in the intro today, and I'm like, who messed with this? That end did not live there for the other 210, like AND. It's like right in the middle. I'm like, what? Never mind. Keep going. That's all I wanted to say. Mental, what are you working on?
So having a roof that functions as a roof, we're now doing. Yeah, we're now doing the inside of the roof. Vicky had a dumpster delivered yesterday, so we started filling it with all the sheetrock that we're pulling down. When it's wet, it surprisingly does not come down in one piece. It comes down in little tiny crumbly handfuls. Jeff?
By inside of the roof, do you mean ceiling?
Yes. But
or do you mean like the inside of the attic?
Yeah.
Okay,
no. I don't have an attic. I have a flat roof, so between the inside of my house and the outside of my house is approximately 1.5 feet of wood and insulation, and now EPDM rubber. I've been redoing
How does
this
the
for the better part
snow
of a year.
fall off a flat roof?
What is snow? No. All of that stuff stays up on Mount Charleston, about 45 minutes away. We don't get it.
Good.
So, and then I came home today to see that my hardworking and good-looking wife had actually moved all of our dining room furniture, and our dining room table is heavy. So she'd taken it apart, got it relocated. So we'll be ripping that down. And then this weekend, we'll finish the rest of it up, fill up the dumpster, and move on to putting stuff on ceiling. So as Chris and I discussed, probably going to hire someone to do at least the...
probably a good idea.
Yeah, if not the installation, definitely the mud. A repeated E1R top tip: your sheetrock comes out smoothest when you use your checkbook.
Yeah, it is the best money you will ever spend. You'll look at that and say, yeah, I'm happy to give.
Or you can
money.
do it once or twice, and then realize that you should pay somebody to do it.
Done that. Yeah.
Done that.
No. Yeah. Yep. No. It is a skill. Pay for the skill.
Agreed.
Yeah. Especially that avoids days of your house being dusty.
That's the
constantly.
issue I got.
Ugh.
I didn't mind doing
Days
it.
and days.
My wife was angry afterwards. Like, when is the house coming back? I'm tired of this dust.
Seriously, because if
Even
I
the
want to be
dogs
covered
are
in
dusty.
yeah, if I want to be covered in dust, I'm going to go buy a boat.
It's
Or
also
hang it up
terrible
button.
on your arms. So all you're doing is on the ceiling as hard as you possibly can with the little scraper. And it's just your shoulders hurt. You're mad. Your wife is mad. Everybody's mad. Pay
I have
somebody.
a stick.
Still
not
the
gonna
same
do
thing.
as
Oh,
good.
see, we have-
Your shoulders still hurt.
Yeah,
Got
and we
it.
have a
Yeah.
thing that attaches to the vacuum that you do it with so that you don't get
Oh.
as much dust.
So the cat's
And-
not as dusty.
Right.
Everything's not as dusty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still dusty. It's just not that bad.
Yeah. No, even just ripping it down. Last night before I went to bed, I'm like, yeah, we're going to go for a couple laps in the pool, get this crap off.
I guess that's one way to do it.
Good. It's a good choice.
Okay. Okay.
Chrissy,
I-
I finally got to see you this weekend. What are you working on?
I know. And you know exactly what I've done. I packed for a race. Then I went to a race. I died when we got home from a race. And now I'm trying to get back to life. And Chris has done basically the same thing. So since we saw each other last, that's about what we've been doing. So,
What did you die from?
traveling to California for the weekend, acclimating pretty well to California time.
Oh.
Because, the times when you're just like, oh, it's lunchtime. And I'm like, it's dinner time. And then everybody's like, oh, we'll have dinner at 7 or 8. And I'm like, legit, I
That's
should
midnight.
be in bed, right? Yes. And then you're like, oh, Chris is up. Oh, we'll talk about this later, but Chris is up. It's 11 o'clock California time. You are dumb. So that's what happened. And then we would sleep.
And to help, you tried to remain drunk most of it.
I didn't drink that much. But it was still just really tired. And then we got home. We'll talk more about our travel, but anyway, we did red eye on the way home on Sunday. So, and you don't sleep on a red eye. So it was just really Sunday. On Monday on the way home, we were trying to like poke each other to keep our eyes open, get home. And then we slept. And so now we're just a little bit better, but it was tough. So that's why we died. Yeah, Jeff.
I get it. I had the first weekend off in a month.
What? And you worked on the car all weekend.
No, I went
to
camping with the
NCM?
Boy Scouts.
Oh.
No, I couldn't. I had to do the Boy Scout thing with the son. So, but anyway, we'll talk about we'll get to that.
Future leaders. It matters.
We went to the Gettysburg National Battlefield Park, whatever that is, with the Scouts, and we hiked. We did 5.5 miles, and we learned all kinds of history. And we went to the museum, and we saw the cyclorama and all that cool stuff. Great trip, great weather, nasty war, and yeah, next weekend I am planning to work on the Z. We have a Z planning weekend with the brother coming over, and
Clutching my pearls.
things
Oh,
will
no.
get done. That's it.
Cool.
Mental.
I-
Chris is left.
I guess it's
I was
my
like-
turn.
I said throw it to mental. I was like, wait, I already threw it to
Yeah,
mental once.
Chrissy, to said all the other stuff. Since we got home, back to the Mazda. New shift cables are in. They're about 8 inches longer for the speed version than the regular one. Cleaned up the subframe because it has a little bit of rust on it, and it's out. So the only time I'm ever going to be able to actually hit that rust from anything is now. So I did.
The only spot of rust on that car.
There's a couple little ones. Had the sway bar off as part of that, so I took the bushings off and greased those up. Replaced the pirate bearing again because I had to grind out more of the crank. Last time it was borderline if it was good enough, and I said screw it, and I sent it. But now I had the trans off again. I'm going to do it the right way this time, so I did. I ground out a little bit more to get the last of the old pilot bearing out that had welded itself into the crank, and got the new one in. That's much better. I put the clutch back on the motor the other way, so the gearbox side, as it said on the clutch, is facing the engine, the sticky outy part.
Sticky outy part,
facing
yeah.
the engine. I mean, it fits in fine. Like it's not until it's running that we're gonna know. So, I tried to make a short shifter. Actually, it seems to be successful by cutting a piece off and welding onto it to change where the cable attaches on the lever. So it should be a shorter front to back throw now.
You should genuinely take pictures of that because a lot of people don't understand how short
It looks
shifters
really
work.
bad. It looks really bad.
Okay, put an Instagram filter on it because a lot of
This
people
is
don't
not
understand.
this is not my finest work. I think it will be effective, but it is not pretty.
Okay,
at all.
Yeah, because that's either you increase the length of the fulcrum or you move the pivot point, and that's how you make a short shifter.
Yeah, well, this is a cable one, so I move the ball further up the rod so that it's not, as you're moving the top of it, the ball
makes
moves
sense.
with it a little bit better than if it's down here, then it doesn't go as far. Anyway, did that. And just about 20 minutes ago, I left the garage, and the trans is now attached to the engine and hanging in the chassis. So it's coming right back together. I have to say that Harbor Freight trans jack that I got, wonderful. When you're dealing with a heavy trans, like I got so used to the little light Honda D series trans that you can just bench press up and move it around. It's fine. Not a big deal. But this thing, no way. This is the only way to do this.
All right.
That might have to get on the Reading Express for next weekend for me.
Yeah. If you don't think about it, yeah, you actually just be looking at Chrissy. Because I know you don't social media, but I know because I talked to people this weekend, and there are people that get a hold of the various mediums that we communicate on. People are wanting to know how that transmission works out. So somebody text me or post it if it actually shifts as it's supposed to tomorrow.
Yeah, the thing I'm about to try is how little can I possibly hook up while being able to test it. That's the next thing I'm going to do. Like, if I can just, make sure they're bolted together, if I can just put the hydraulics on and hook the ECU back up, is that enough that I can try? I think so. Like, I won't even put any fluid in the trans because running for 30 seconds isn't enough to damage it under no load, right?
Right.
So I think if I do that, I can start it up enough to step on the clutch and try to put it in gear. Because before, when you did that, when the engine was running, it would not go into gear.
Yes.
So if I can get it started and try to put it in gear, even with no axles or anything in it, I think it will give me the same difficulty. It won't be as much because the sinker will be able to actually turn the output shaft. It's not hooked up to anything, but it'll still, if it goes right in, then it's fine. If it doesn't go right in, then it's still wrong, and I don't know what to do. Although
our tens of fans are all rooting for you.
I know. Although I did buy an extra slave cylinder on my last Rock Auto order, just in case, because the used speed one I have in here, I'm tired of taking chances. I don't want to wait again. It was in the same shipping from the same warehouse, so that's in the box. Thank you.
Throw it in the trailer. You never know.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where we are now. Tomorrow, more of the same.
Woot.
Alrighty then. Where are we up to? It is.
Wait. Let Chrissy do it because it's funnier.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't hear it at all. News and notes.
You couldn't hear it?
Yeah,
I think we heard.
I could hear it from downstairs.
Yeah, I think we heard it on Chris's mic. I think like the whole thing went to it.
I think your microphone or your Zoom was like, that can't possibly be something that's supposed to
I don't
go
want
out
to yell.
there.
I don't want Erling to lose his ears.
Well, you can yell up, but just a little.
News
There you go. It's funny.
Halfway through, it's even funnier. All right.
Right.
So somewhere between "it's about damn time" and "I don't care" is this particular piece from my local news outlet. Now, the City of Las Vegas Council is looking for new policies regarding exotic car rentals here in Las Vegas. Last month, a driver under the influence rolled a new Rolls Royce and it killed his passenger. This follows a deadly crash.
It is a roller.
You're not funny. Oh, that's awful.
Now, this follows a deadly crash from June with a rented Lamborghini and a moped. And the reason I bring this up is I expect other vacation destination cities that have this kind of industry, Miami Beach, stuff like that, to follow suit. And look, man, rent the car, enjoy it, be safe. One of my coworkers got this as a birthday gift, and he took it out to Red Rocks Canyon, drove it around, took a bunch of pictures, had a great time. But you're not fooling anyone. Everyone knows it's not yours, especially when you're sitting on the Las Vegas Strip at a stoplight, bouncing it off the rev limiter. All right. So,
well, and most of the people who rent them just drive them up and down the Strip because they don't have anywhere to go.
Which there are some great destinations in Las Vegas. You could roll it through the Lake Mead recreational area, which is gorgeous. There's Red Rock Canyon, which is just beautiful. There's Spring Mountain, which is a 5,200 foot pass, beautiful winding road. You don't even have to be going fast to enjoy it.
All I have to say is what it is. It's a Lamborghini Panawang. Never mind.
Oh, really?
Those people everybody not on TikTok is like, what is Jeff saying? Look up Lamborghini Panawang Never mind. Keep going. Somebody else.
And I have to be on TikTok to see it anyway.
No. If you Google it, you'll find it.
Okay, fine. So everyone is talking about the Verstappen and Hamilton rivalry, but Daniel Ricciardo's Twitter account lit up last week with praise for his McLaren teammate Lando Norris. This is the actual phrase. Apart from just getting beat 5-0 by Lando in table tennis, he taught me so much this year, especially in high corners, is impressive. He's got some large cojones, something I don't have. The next tweet was a selfie of Lando grinning. Either Daniel Ricciardo lost a bet or he failed to lock his phone. In either case, it's nice to see some drivers actually getting along.
Yeah, I don't think that would actually be Daniel Ricciardo. Like, he doesn't seem to be that kind of humble person.
But here's the thing.
But it's hilarious.
Exactly.
It is,
and he didn't delete it. He left it up.
Wow. He might not even know it's happening.
Oh no, Daniel. Yeah, no, he knew. I think Ricardo being Ricardo is like, okay, that's pretty funny.
He's got a good sense of humor. Yeah. All right. The electric truck wars are coming. And the first contender is entered the PR fray. Our YouTube and news feeds are filled with all the auto journos invited to the press launch of the Rivian R1T's pre-production model in Colorado. Hey, Rivian, our email, it's everyone.racers@gmail.com. We lost our invite. Let's fix this. Okay?
Yeah. Come on now.
Yep. James Gilboy at the Drive got his invite and was impressed. Prices tested was about $82,000 with options. Base price starts at $69,000.
Nice.
Yep. Quad motor all-wheel drive rated at 835 horsepower and 908 foot-pounds of torque. Weighs in at 6,800 pounds, or about what my Suburban does, and can tow 11,000 pounds, 3/4-ton payload. Rivian seats 5 and can get to 60 in 3 seconds, 140 mile range. Oh, that's pretty terrible for a range.
Yeah. It's a big vehicle, I guess.
But that's with a 20-minute charge.
Still, that's not a lot. Like, for long trips, certainly not long tows. Anyway, overall assessment was Detroit had better bring the heat because the R1T is a hell of an opening move. Link in our notes.
Nice. I'm excited about that. So mental. Do you remember the GM Futureliner?
I do. And in fact, if you scroll to our show notes, there's a link to my terrible video where I got to walk through one.
I'll put it in the old thing there.
All right, if you've got it
in the show notes.
I've got a good. No, it's already in the show notes.
You're screen sharing our notes.
I know. I'm going down.
What is your plan?
No, I have a much better picture, Jeff. If
this
you'll
is
stop,
great.
Jeff,
this is really
I
great.
have the picture saved.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. How about
and
if you're
share
gonna
it.
Share? Do it. Get to the right spot first.
I thought it was,
exactly.
but I clicked the wrong one. Anyway, Futureliner.
You have disabled screen sharing. You told me
gosh.
I had screen sharing.
No, I said sorry. Here
Boys, stop it.
All right, now go ahead. While I'm talking, now you can screen share. All right, so I think you saw one of the 9 known remaining Futureliner buses at the Atlanta Auto Show. Was that what it was?
Absolutely, they brought it out. It genuinely, it's a terribly done but an interesting walk around video because I basically read all the history of it.
So some dude walking around in the middle of Massachusetts, Ludlow. Any idea where that is, Chris?
Yeah, middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere. He saw one street parked in the middle of nowhere. And he's in a suburban neighborhood.
If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see this actual photo, which
that's
is great.
The actual photo. Caused a bit of a stir because recently one sold for north of $4 million. And also they're kind of hard to park in the random suburban neighborhood. It caused a lot of stir. But now we know why it was there, because Peter Pan Bus Line owns 2 of them. One of them is restored and one of them is Shell. And they rent it for publicity events. And a local to Ludlow happens to be the GM of Peter Pan's coach building section. And after a rental, he stopped by his house for dinner as he was driving it home. Because the only thing harder to parking a giant 50s luxury liner in the suburban neighborhood is getting something to tow it back and forth across Massachusetts. So he's taking it back to Springfield, parked it at his house, and everybody went nuts. The internet cheered and said, what the hell?
See, you want to do like a cool, like exotic car rental? GM Futureliner.
GM Futureliner. And we will put that
the link to the article. Yes. And the link to the article.
We'll do the link to the walk around there.
Is in our show.
Okay.
You know what? I just came home and I took off my watch and
So did I.
guys bracelets because I was getting ready I'm going to be doing construction after this, but check them out. Guys custom bracelets. You can only get these on Instagram. They are designed by an enthusiast who likes watches and likes fast cars. You can only get them there. They also have their couture ready to wear stuff. Check them out on Instagram. Link is in our notes.
GYX_customs upcoming races. Go.
Oh, sorry. Champ Car is right out of Texas, headed to pit race. 61 cars, 20 BMWs, which is terrible.
So boring.
Third of
Yeah.
the track. Yeah.
11 Miatas, 5 Hondas, 6 Porsches, and an 89 Beretta, a
Nice.
95 Grand Marquis, and a 94
All right.
Escort. See, some people have things right. That's
Yeah.
great. Good luck
If
to
you
those two.
add the BMWs and the Porsches, it's half the field. I'm sorry, the
Miatas and BMWs. Yeah.
Go on. Sorry.
Yeah. It's a shame.
I'm not convinced Porsches are a boring choice.
No.
because
I meant
they're
Miata.
going to give you trouble.
True.
And we'll talk later about Chris and Chrissy's experience racing a Porsche.
I think that's the only thing coming up. So we'll go right to recent results. Chris, I think you're right up next again.
Hey,
Yes,
yeah. As we mentioned a moment ago, Champ Car was at Harris Hill in Texas. Saturday had Basil Weenie Racing's surprise Miata edging out Touchstone Racing's.
And it was
surprise.
something like 22 Miatas. in that
Miata.
race. Yeah,
Exactly.
it was all
Yeah,
over
right.
the
It's only
track.
like 19 cars,
That's
and
why these
22
are all
of them were
surprises,
Miatas.
right.
Yeah.
22 seconds between those two. That's pretty good on
That's
an
good.
8-lap race. One lap back was Looney Tunes Mustang. The TR6 was 21st overall and 4th in class.
Good for it.
21st
Yeah.
out of like 22, though. I mean, it's
No, at a 38
No, this
or
was
something
Oh,
like
I-
that.
This was a
Forget
full
how-
car. This
It
a
was
full
30. It was
champ
30
field.
something. It was 30
okay.
something.
That's fine.
So, which I guess is a full champ field, but it was 30 something. But hey, good for the TR. They beat a lot of people. And I did, when I wrote this earlier, have the number of laps that they completed, but somehow that has disappeared now.
Oh,
I think
sorry,
the
that
TR,
was
I
fine.
think, had like 260
It's a lot
laps.
of laps. It's a lot
Right.
of laps.
Like a really surprising number of laps for the TR. So
Good.
anyway,
On Sunday night, the Sunday Night Fury Racing crushed everyone, or Sunday Night Fury Racing crushed everyone with their 84 Celica, winning by 4 laps. Basil Weenie was second. They were 2 laps over Samio Tutti Pilati in another Miata.
which is the team that beat us at Hallett in the Maserati.
Oh, good. The TR6 was 24th overall on Sunday
Mm.
and 6th in class. See,
Mm.
I don't know
All
the
right.
classing structure. So.
Well, Lemons had one race did have some cool kids that actually a lot of people that we know went to NCM. Overall went to overall and A went to Black Flag Racing and a BMW. Class B was finally won. Super excited by this, and our buddies in Squatting Dogs and Tracksuits. Matt Ferenchek and his team, Silent but Deadly, in their 88 Thunderbird Turbo coupe. They finished 3rd overall.
it's not a turbo coupe anymore. It's got a 5-liter V8.
Yeah, but
it was a turbo coupe.
right.
It was, yeah.
Thunderbird.
Didn't they win B before?
No, they came in so close. I think it was Rob Leone won instead because they ran out of gas on the last lap.
That was it. That was at pit race.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
also they lost it on the last lap at I want to say, was it Thompson or another one? I mean, they're great people and they're hardworking guys, and they've just been
They didn't go to Thompson.
teased.
I thought they won
It
a
was one of the
jersey
East Coast
way
races.
back when it was yellow and had the.
I don't think they ever won it.
surfboard on
No.
Okay.
No.
I
No,
believe you.
they've been trying for a while, and 3rd
Yep.
overall is amazing. So congrats to those guys.
3rd overall is ginormous.
Awesome sauce. God's Close and Chosen class is everybody's buddies of Duff Beer and their 94 Volvo 850, which is now for sale. Check out their ad on Racing Junk. Interesting. And our link will be in our show notes. $2,000 with full fire suppression seats and belts, ready to race. Or choice was 93 Eagle Summit Wagon. Eric was so excited from the team. It'll be fine. Judge's choice was the Cleverly Hillbillies in a Mercedes Hillbilly truck. This is the same team that ran the Sheriff Pepper styled Monaco. Go to the Facebook, see its creation is amazing. They also won the Road Mangler Cup, so they got some cool tires too. Heroic Fix was nearly adequate racing in their 79 Pinto wagon. The opposite is, of course, I Got Screwed, and that was the not real professional racing in the Mazda Pro Tona Super Edge. Yes, they wrote it all out, so it's easy for everybody to read. With 4 Corvettes at NCM, you know they're going to have a which vet sucked the least. And they called it the Corvette Cup. That was Ragged Racing in their 87 Corvette. And the regional award of, unfortunately, they did not fall into the sinkhole, was the much ballyhoo the Cadillac XLR from Cheap Thrills, which we talked about last week. Finally, Lemon's top award as the index of affluency went to Off Kilter Racing in a 62 Plymouth Valiant.
I feel like this is, Valiants or any like 60s, early 70s Dodge with the slant six is a really strong IOE contender because it's going to run if you don't abuse it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Slant
Now,
six.
yeah, the Cool Lemons was at the butt. And first, I want to go ahead and just thank all of the great bribes, 808 Modelo Time Racing, number 13 Pacemaker, the Bakersfield manure wagon brought everybody fresh grapes from their own farm. It was fantastic.
They were very dirty, but very tasty.
Yes. Mm-hmm. My wife hates all the crap that I always bring back from one of these races, but thank you all. And overall was Eyesore Racing, and they're ugly, but actually not that cheaty Miata. It's just well driven, and they really know how to use junkyard stuff. B was Uncle Joe's Racing and their LS Swap Celica. Finally, another team that has been fighting for a while.
That was a 1UZ swap.
I think that's the other one. There was
okay.
Or I may have my Celicas mixed up, but yeah, one's a hatchback LS, the other one's a coupe, and it's a 1U.
Yeah. Oh well.
All right. C was Junk Runners, and they're now even more dented Ranger. This poor thing just it's an incident attraction. They just get dinged all the time, but they finally won Class C.
Funny, the Ranger that was near us was an absolute magnet also.
That's
destruction.
How do you miss a truck? Judge's
I don't know if it's people missing the truck or
exactly.
It might be that.
Yeah. Judge's choice was the number 75 Mazda Third Alarm Mazda 3 group of LA firefighters. What a wonderful group of people and horrible, horrible drivers.
And so many problems on track. They lost wheels. They got flat tires. It's very sad.
Oh, but they had a great time. Organizer's choice. I don't remember. It was just some bunch of zebra camouflage clowns that were running around there making too much
clowns.
Heroic Fix was, spoiler alert, in a Nissan Sentra, and watch the wrap up video. That's actually a great story. One girl on there grew up wrenching with her dad on Bonneville salt flat cars, but a completely different guy was the one that picked out the car. When I asked, how did you end up with this? She kind of rolls her eyes and went, he was at the junkyard. It was the cheapest, but it's a great story. And I Got Screwed was number 69.
Nice.
Yeah, baby. And they're MGB. And finally, after years of trying, the index of affluency, the number 1 award in Lemons was
Otis.
When they were running,
Otis.
They were so fast.
They were, and the car's been fast, but they just can't ever keep it running.
It always breaks.
It always breaks. This weekend, the hood wore through one of the carburetors, not a carburetor line, wore through one of the carburetors to where it was squirting gas.
That's bad.
And they still got it fixed and got it back out on the track. So, and the car that I was so excited about, the 77 Ford Mustang Cobra 2, finished 64th. After a terrible result from an on-track incident, and it was truly an incident, just racing incident. It was mitigated by quality cages, proper safety gear, and an excellent response from the Button Willow safety team.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Listener feedback time.
Our preview of the butt generated some responses, mostly along the lines of Dan Gielis's comment that his FOMO was real. Really missing out this time. Have fun. We must see you in the O-Pile up there. One of these days, we're going to see you in Meat Space, Dan.
Yep. And on the YouTubes, just today, we got our 200 subscriber. Hey, thanks.
Nice. Woo, woo.
Thank you, Double Clutch Racing. It's an iRacing focused channel. Anyway, on the YouTubes, AJ had a title suggestion for the episodes we're recording. Since it's a podcast, the Butt and Rillo recap show should be called From Butt to Mouth.
Nice.
Oh gosh. Also on the YouTube.
No, that's not nice.
Also on the YouTube's an older episode, 185, 3 Panel Mafia recipe. Ashley D said just this week, I'm glad y'all have the YouTube as well, since it seems as Spotify shanked this particular episode. And we said, Ashley, not sure that about it, but thank you for letting us know. And we don't use Spotify, so we don't know when they come or go. So we'll let you know.
I use Spotify. I haven't tested to see if they're still updating, but I'm on it. I'm on it, Ashley.
Okay, we'll work on it. Thanks for letting us know. We're always on YouTube.
I think they like time out. Like they only hold like 90 days worth. I think that's what it is on Spotify.
Okay. And also you could always get all of our episodes dating back to episode 1, which you don't want to listen to.
No, please don't.
40, 50. That's about good.
Yeah.
Please.
On Shout Engine, which a link to that is now in our show notes.
Nice. The best feedback came from one of our newest listeners, friend of Chrissy, and Mentals, at least now, right? And we hadn't really met them before this weekend, right?
I'd met him at Thunderhill.
Okay, so cool. We're all going to be friends now because Team Thunder Turd was gushing about our inclusivity and progressiveness. And I'm so happy to hear this because I am the inclusivity and progressiveness chair for the entire show. In that set, it's pretty accurate. We don't care as long as you dig cars. He just got one little thing wrong. He thought I was a lesbian, which is understandable because I know we share a lot of preferences sexually, I guess. But trust me, I'm male. I'm born male. Hold on, yards. No big deal. Ashley D, a community mental health professional, also commented on the same feedback. I actually thought Jeff might be a trans female to male based on his voice alone from like the first 6 episodes until I saw some photos of the E1R gang. Again, great. Sure. Bill F tried to establish, since he knows me in real life and meat space, he says it must be due to the resonance within my Simpsons head, which is a callback to an episode 100 years ago when we talked about different shaped heads for different type helmets, and he pictured Bart Simpson. No, not at all. I'm not offended by any of this. It's pretty funny. We love cars. We love it so much that you think we're glad you like the show. And if it makes you feel better, thinking about me as something other than I am, great.
I have seen Jeff dress in drag multiple times.
Absolutely.
We're getting closer.
And rumor has it might have been some S&M gear.
I was gonna say we have many trans friends within our circle. A lot of them that are content creators. So if you're surprised to hear that I'm just a dude with a high-pitched voice, check out some of those other creators. Cool.
Yep.
And by the way, and if you're offended by any of this, do not come to the Monday races because all we talk about is butt sex and we make God jokes. It gets a little
but it's all inclusive.
Good fun.
Everybody there.
Absolutely.
Everybody there makes the same jokes. Yeah.
And
cool.
Also, Eric K wants to know if Mental has found second gear yet. It is 9:28.
No, but I drove it today because yesterday was 9:28.
You drove it in first gear to work. You're killing me.
It's don't go too fast.
It's surface streets. I never get over 45. It's great.
Okay.
So you're doing like 40 in first gear. That's probably all right though.
Well, what I do is I get up to 40 and that's about 4,000 RPMs. And then I just coast because it's all flat in the valley. So sounds great. It sounds amazing.
Okay. I'll believe you.
Nice. I suck at racing time. Lemons did their iRacing thing on Sunday night. It was a 2-hour Schlong Beach Sundoro, obviously at Long Beach. And I was there. One of my broadcast partners was Lady A, who I guess it sounded like a couple of trans friends that day. But it was full of cars and people, and I only showed up because I know everybody was at the butt for the weekend. I thought I'd be the only one there. Nobody cares who won, but it was all the same chuckleheads, Duclos, Stank, Al Jones, Uncle Dave, Wartburger Thief. They all won. More importantly, it was announced that next week there will be no Sunday race. The Lemons race will be on Monday, so we likely won't do an E1R race. Cool.
Or we can do it Sunday night. We'll just swap nights.
Don't like
It
that
cost
idea?
me 38 cents per race to set this up, so we better be sure.
You know what? Yeah, I'll fork out the 38 cents.
Yeah.
So watch our social medias. We'll be gearing up for whatever nonsense they're doing on Monday night for the Lemons race.
It's a trash sprint, so we're gonna come up with something dumb.
Yeah.
There you go. So we're just gonna swap nights.
If you never watch any of the Lemons races on YouTube because you're not interested in such things, interesting stuff happened with the bearded sim racer. There's a new visual that he's doing with a green screen, so it looks like he's sitting at the track and the cars are driving by like right next to his balls. It's kind of funny. Check it out.
Cool.
Oh, I got to do the E1R race. I didn't know I was doing them both.
It's all you, Jeff. I wasn't
Sure.
at any of them.
Sure.
Yeah, neither was Chris and Chrissy.
I didn't go on Monday either. We got dirty at the USA International Speedway. First variety was the roundy round dirt cars, and then a bunch of rally cars and trucks. iRacing correspondent Uncle Dave said that Andrew P. won the first race. He says that he started in the back, and Tom gave me multiple surprise butt sexes, and he still finished second. Second race, nobody picked the only oval car, and all the Beetles and the Subies ran out of gas. Dun dun, because they can't refuel. A few trucks were in the race, and they made it, and just one guy made it with the Beetle. So
There's a Beetle Light now. That's what that
a Beetle
is.
Light.
Yes, I don't know what the difference is.
I don't know
Probably
what that
less
is
power.
either.
But
God,
he
I gotta
made it.
get my system set up again so I can check it out. Tyler won in a truck or something, but only because he saved fuel.
You know who else is good at saving fuel?
Yeah,
That's why she
Who?
drives a Mazda 5. It's Chrissy's mom.
nice. Hi, Chrissy's mom,
By the way,
brother-in-law, dad, whoever's listening.
Chrissy's mom, you maybe turn the volume down for the next 10 seconds as we talk about what the main topic is.
Topic time. After butt, from the butt to the mouth, out of the butt. What do we do? I don't even know what we're calling it. Everybody was at Button Willow, but me. Button Willow Racetrack.
You were missed.
I was missed.
Yeah.
I couldn't get there. We'll travel in another date. I'm not ready for all that yet. So, awesome. Chris and Chrissy, you are traveling. Why don't we start about getting there?
Mental travel too. He's not exactly
He went
around
from
the corner.
Vegas to Southern California.
Let's
It's
drive an RV,
It's like
janky
4
RV.
hours.
We'll ask him next.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
the
Chris
RV
and
gets
Chrissy,
jankier every time we see it.
Tell us about it.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Okay, I thought you were going to talk.
You took a deep breath, so
I did, and then you were going to talk. So, some storms rolled in on Thursday, which delayed our flight out, and then it delayed it even more, which was great. So we stayed at home longer, we worked longer, we got to the airport later, and that means we got to our destination later, which is great. So we left here about our flight was about 8 o'clock, and we got there at 11:30ish. All of our flight was great. All of the our baggage got there fine. So just end up being very late.
It is 2 o'clock in the morning, Chrissy time, and she goes to bed at 10.
Yes, and we knew this was going to happen, and of course we didn't. We watched at end of Netflix and stuff, so we didn't sleep at all. Got there, we just did douche music the whole time, and it's so much douche music. So we crashed at Matt's house,
and we stopped at In and Out.
In and Out.
Near
Yes,
the
it's
airport.
required.
Yes,
get
just to get some fries, and that's it. Crashed at Matt's house. He was expecting us, but he was not there. So he had a bed ready for us. It was great. We were so happy to sleep, but we didn't sleep long, because we were up early, and we were up early anyway, pretty much, and then got out of there. You want to continue?
Yeah, well, I would play Guess the Rental, but 3 of the 4 of us know what it was, so we can't really play Guess the Rental.
No, we can totally play it because people like to play at home.
Okay. Well, all right. So
throw it out there. Let Jeff walk through it.
There's a rental car shortage right now. Obviously,
Yes.
we did the national, basically walk to the aisle, pick what you want. At 11:45 in LA, we walk up to the top. There's not much there. So, this was, I'll say that in general, this was okay. It wasn't spectacular in any way, but it also didn't infuriate me like the Altima did. I'm open to questions.
What class of car was it?
Full-size car.
Full-size car.
Rental car definition of full-size car.
Yes. It's not a Crown Vic by any shape or imagination.
No, because we would have posted donuts of Chris or a video of Chris doing donuts in a Crown Vic.
And Crown Vic still in the fleet would have about 400,000 miles on it.
Probably wouldn't be good.
Okay, so you didn't have any choice. So usually I ask all those questions.
We had limited
choice. We did have a choice.
There were about 8 cars available in the entire upper floor of this thing.
Name one car you didn't take, because that will give you the level. Like the one you thought about, but went, let's do this one instead.
F-150?
Oh, it was a Dodge 1500.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
We didn't choose that
didn't
one.
help at all.
I know it didn't help at all. That's why I used that one.
Actually, I love Dodge Ram rental trucks. They're cool because they get great gas mileage on the freeway.
I'm going to have to go with.
You can ask another question.
You get 3 questions.
It's going to be Asian, so I don't need to ask that. Was it Asian? Yes or no?
No.
No.
You almost fell into the trap.
Was it a Dodge Chrysler Plymouth product?
It was not.
What's left?
I'm shocked and stunned.
Yeah.
Just because you're struggling by yourself.
Ford.
I'm gonna give you a hint.
Okay,
let him guess. It's fine.
No. Okay, well, but
a Fusion. I
want to make
this Fusion.
No, I was going to give you a hint.
Okay,
the engine of this vehicle,
yes,
it also powers one of the race cars they had access to this weekend.
No, it doesn't. Same name, but not the same engine at all.
No. Okay, same family of engines.
It has a brand label on it, but it's very different.
Okay.
Yeah. Fine. Chevy Malibu.
Okay.
It's 2021 Malibu with
didn't even know they were making.
It's a 1.5 liter turbo Ecotec. So yes, it says Ecotec, but it's very different than the 2.4 in the Solstice, and it's a CVT. It wasn't tragic. It was way better than the Altima, but it's not a good car, but it's also just not a tragic car. Because when we first walked up to the top of the rental deck, the first thing I saw that was closest was a Sentra that the plastic body pan was visibly hanging way down. It was going to fall off. The second thing I saw was an Altima, followed by
which you would have taken the Sentra over the Altima.
I don't know. Followed by a Kia EV, which I said, well, where the hell am I going to charge this thing?
Yeah, no.
Nope, not gonna do
the only
that.
thing we were doing was driving to the desert, into the desert, and back. I mean, we had a couple stops on the way, but
too.
nothing. Right, nothing.
Not even a hybrid, an EV.
An EV. Then there was that one Dodge truck, 2 Malibus, another Altima, and a last generation Elantra. So I said, you know what? The Malibu is the least bad thing here.
I enjoyed the Elantra I rented the one time.
If you guys remember last year, I took the Ram to go to Thompson, and on the freeway with that 8-speed transmission, and it shuts down half the cylinders. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I just figured I usually like the driving dynamics of a car more than a truck when we're just doing.
We figured we knew that there were going to be trucks available for gas, so we knew that we didn't need it. We played the game before we got to the rental. We said, what are we really looking for? We need a little bit of trunk space. We need.
Technically, these were all in the executive aisle, not the regular aisle,
because that
was all that was there.
Car.
So I said, you know what? Don't want to pick something that's like a 4-car upgrade that maybe they're going to try to upcharge me for. So I'll get something that would be a very plausible thing to be in the normal range for things.
Fair.
Got it.
It was fine.
Anyway. All right, well, so we heard about your trip. Anything else before I turn it over to Mental and he tells us about riding his RV?
We stopped and bought a lot of claws. And
a lot of claws.
And then we drank them all.
Well, it was because we got a text from Matt that morning. We drank everything. We stopped at this store.
Bring more. And we took pictures and we're like, here, do you like this
funny.
whiskey or this whiskey? And then
Yeah.
is this enough claws? We're like, not quite sure. Yeah, that happened.
Got it.
Yep.
Mental. How'd your trip go?
So obviously I'm just driving across the desert. I go to Prem, Nevada. I climb the mountain range and then dip back down into the valley. And as I start getting towards Barstow and Bakersfield, it really does start taking on a apocalyptic movie scene.
Yes.
Because there are a number of fires and you knew the sun was there, but you couldn't pinpoint it. It was serious. The air quality index was rated as horrible. And it didn't get much better as I climbed the mountains again. You go to Tehachapi. I don't know what mountain town in California it is, and down into Bakersfield.
Tippecanoe, I think is what it is.
It's terrible, whatever it is.
It is. But it was very, I mean, it was unsettling how not blue the sky was coming down into there.
It was actually raining ash when we got there. It's like lightly snowing ash.
Friday and Saturday morning we had to get up and brush ash off of everything, and if it wasn't ash, it was bugs, which leads into the weather.
I was gonna say, is that the weather report? Is the weather report ash?
It was
or
hot.
dust?
Yeah, it was hot.
Yeah.
But better. Their 95 degrees is way better than
Here,
most races we
95,
have at
yeah.
Thompson, for
Yeah,
example, where
Mhm.
you walk out and you just want to die.
Sweat.
Right, 'cause
Oh, we
you-
sweat.
Yeah, but
like,
it melts off you.
Plenty.
If it melts off you right away because the humidity is low.
Slip into the garage, sit in the shade for a little bit.
Find a
Especially if you
fan.
got a little airflow coming through there, and
Without
yeah.
in a race suit without any airflow.
Bad.
You're screwed.
Oh,
In
yeah.
the car.
Yeah.
Sitting in the garage, because Corey's done this many, many times. Corey always brings a couple of cheap box fans and he'll get airflow going through the garage.
We
It was
wish we
actually
had
kinda
one of
nice.
those. I had to steal them from Tim's garage when nobody was in there and we were working on our car. I was like, here, I'm taking this. I told them about it, but I was like, you aren't using this. We're hot in our garage.
Now, it should be said that Sunday was beautiful.
It was this. You could actually see the mountain ranges
Yeah,
near
I could-
Button Willow that day.
So the smoke went away or just kind of dissipated.
Dissipated a
slightly?
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enough.
You knew it was there, but it wasn't as bad.
Yeah. Awesome. We heard all about the track stuff, like where the showers were or weren't and all that other stuff. Tell me about the track and how it actually
I did have
lived
to
up
show.
to.
I did have to show Chris and Chrissy where the secret good showers were.
Shh, don't tell people.
So how did the track actually, I know you've guys been there before, but it's been 100 years.
It's been
How
100
did-
years.
How did it go? The track itself. Surface, right?
Surface was getting worn in enough that it has been rubbered in and then cleaned off on the racing line almost with the latest stuff actually.
Lot of patches, a lot of and actually when we did a track walk, which they allowed, which Lemons all out of, which is awesome. A lot of people actually were on it, a lot of people. So that was really great. But we noticed a lot of cracks. We found some spots that have like actual pavement missing. So it's, there's a lot of the curbing that's used a lot. It's really worn down. So
Now, did you guys test and then walk?
Yes.
Okay.
This is not CMP, old CMP level of bad.
correct.
It's not.
Correct.
It's
But
not
it's-
sandpaper.
It's probably kind of like New Hampshire is now. Like it's wearing.
It's
It's
wearing. It's got
definitely
some
wearing.
patches. It's got okay.
So that's
so the
the
track walk.
surface.
So you tested. Testing went okay. Good. Bad. Did you
Yeah, it's
snap
what-
back?
what-
Did you remember everything?
for doing our track walk through was a big help for me. I think I picked it up fairly quickly. It took a while to get the nuances, but also we're in a completely different car, which we'll talk about later. Which the car was not the kind of. It's not like our Mazda. You could just get in and just drive it really hard because it's so easy. This car took a little effort and a lot of time to trust. So it was a gradual buildup of speed for me.
Mental's dog disappeared. Did you see that?
He
It was
only-
like there,
he-
and then all of a sudden it was gone.
He only jumped in my lap because Vicky has a snack and he wanted to try and get close. So Vicky did the long arc of watching his head move. And when she went off, he was convinced she had dropped it. So he bolted.
Got it. It
Traitor.
literally vanished into thin air. And I'm sorry. So, should we go right to the card? We're going to keep talking about test day. What do you?
But no, there's plenty throughout the track to still talk about.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want you guys' opinion of the test day, because we've talked over and over about how some tracks or organizations will run a horrible format for test day. Button Willow did theirs.
It was fine.
Yeah,
it was unfortunate. It was unfortunate that we had to pay per driver, and it was a lot per driver. So that's kind of unfortunate.
Per fees, yeah.
But it was
per car and per driver. So
yeah. It's $100 a car, 150 driver. But you just went on none of this run group nonsense that is terrible.
Yeah. It was open. They stopped once in a while for track worker break. It was, like I said, it was fine. I don't like when they do the per car and per driver fees. I think it should just be, here you go. But it's the people who only send one guy out to test the car and stop, like they say, well, this is great. But
it was worth mentioning because it was open to everybody. There was a full up race prepped 911 GT3. And I'm like, oh, you idiot. I don't think you know what you signed up for. Their Uncle Dave found the video through one of his channels. There was a ARCA car with a 1UZ turbo in it. I remember seeing it drive by going, that doesn't sound right. It was interesting, but there was a lot of non-lemon stuff out there. And you could see they showed up Thursday night. They had their camps, they had their garages. And of course, as it always happens on Friday, when non-lemons folks show up with nice or well-prepped cars, or even, some of the drifter
people yell 500 my ass out as they drive by.
We did.
They're looking around going, what that's a 65 Ranchero with a 6-cylinder. Why are they here? And oh my God, what is that thing? I don't want to be on the track with that thing. It's awful. Yeah. It's always funny watching the shock from non-lemons people when they see, but about 1 out of 3, you'll see them go, okay, that's a zebra cool. That's a zebra camouflaged Omega. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's fun to freak out the normies.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So the track, I actually liked it better this time than last time I was here.
I agree.
I think part of that was the configuration was different. Last time we did not run Phil Hill, and we turned around earlier. We didn't go all the way down to Star Mazda. Also, I was driving the Simca mostly.
Yeah. So you actually had a car to drive this time.
And it was before we were good. I mean, Chris is always good at driving, but it was before we have the experience that we do right now.
So the track was more challenging than I recall because of the configuration change. So that was great. In general, I mean, it's a second, third, fourth gear track, mostly third, fourth. It's got some easy spots. Passing isn't all that easy because even the spots where it's straightish aren't really all that straight. Like you can pass coming out of Phil Hill into Star Mazda pretty easily, but all the way through Riverside is kind of hard to pass. Like if you want to set up and not lose a lot of time, coming in around the bus stop, there's only a couple spots there that can pass because once in the end of the bus stop, it kinks right up. You can't really do much there. You can pass coming out of Star Mazda, but once you're in the S's, you can only pass if you're a bit of a
Riverside.
jerk.
You can pass, or somebody
to a point, yeah. As long as someone's slow enough,
yeah. Truck side, yeah.
And as long as you've got the fortitude and the trust that the car that you're passing isn't going to come out into you when you're passing them on the outside of Riverside, which with some of these new cars, I was like,
I had a lot of people. I had people pass me there, so that's what I'm basing off.
Yeah,
looking past there.
Well, they're like, oh, it's Chrissy. Yeah, fine.
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
Fine.
Well, you develop that trust level with cars over the weekend where you're like, all right, yeah, you're fine, and you do that.
You're not fine at all. You stay there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
I would definitely jog over a bit on some people before a sketchy passing opportunity. I say, no, you're not passing me here.
Yeah.
So now the question becomes because usually in the East Coast, we really know everybody already, or like at least the normal people come in. Like, how long did it take you to like build the, I know that guy, I'm safe with that guy, I'm not safe with that guy? Like, because the track you had to learn, the car you had to learn, and the traffic you had to learn.
We've done this long enough that I think we can read how cars are moving. Once you're past them 2 or 3 times, or they pass you 2 or 3 times, like, like you get a feeling. Like there's some cars where I'd see it, I was like, oh, this asshole, ugh. And
Yeah.
I just want them by me because I don't trust them. And I
get
okay,
it.
you go.
I totally get it.
And there's other people where it's like, oh, we can have a good battle, and that's fun. And we did that several times and had a great time. And then there's definitely people who I'm like, I'm just gonna wait here until I got a nice clear spot.
That guy goes out of the way. Yeah.
Who are some good battles you had with, or do you remember the cars or the teams?
There's the other 944, which apparently was a turbo, and yet we were faster than they were.
It could be better drivers. Don't forget.
Yeah, it's a good team. It's a well painted car. They're not competitive, not for a lack of skill, but for just they're like, well,
even
whatever.
Like going down the straight, we'd come out of the corner at similar speed, and we would be dead even down the whole straight. And I'm like, that's kind of strange because this was
the
kind
blue
of a
and
tired.
orange.
Yeah, and we have a tired floor. Apparently, it was a turbo one.
Yeah.
The black and blue Z31 with the Mopar V8 in it.
Our neighbors.
Yeah.
Our paddock
neighbors.
I went around with them
folks.
A bunch, which was good.
I
they were
really
out with a bunch
them.
of things.
Yeah, they last year when we were running, Corey was really making a run at B, and it ended up going to Takata. But every time I was coming up on him on Saturday, and he would think, oh, it's my buddy Corey, I'm going to make him earn it. And I'm just back there, get out of my way. And afterwards he'd be like, I'm so sorry. I thought you were Corey. And Corey like comes to him and goes, would you stop? We're trying to win. And they did, but they're wonderful people. They ended up hanging out with us on Friday night. We did the steak dinner.
Yep. Awesome. So those are two that came to mind of like, had nice battles. It took a while to get moving to pass them because the Porsche's got probably 160 horsepower. Like it's not setting the world on fire, but it's fast enough.
That Dodge Swap Z will, when it wants to, will go.
Well, you really haven't talked about the car yet. I figured even if we come back to the racing later, please talk about the car, how it felt, how it went, etc.
Chrissy, why don't you go first? It's unusual for you to get into a different car. So
Yes. I'm so glad we did testing day because between the car and the car is very different, and the track, no matter how much track walks you can look at and watch, and track maps you can look at, when you get to the track, it's still different. So I was, not prepared for kinks or elevation changes and oh, that's where that corner. Oh, wait, I thought I was there. No, I have turn here. Don't turn here. So I had a couple of those. So I was glad that we got out for testing day. The car is very twitchy. It is very responsive to not even abrupt.
What car?
944.
Yeah.
Champagne showers. Number 751, wrapped in purple. It's
naturally aspirated. Obviously, Chris mentioned the other one was a turbo.
Yes. So this one is, so it's very twitchy. It is well balanced, I'd say, I think is what we decided, but it is, if you shift wrong or you sit on the clutch just a second too long, you will not spin because you can gather it quickly, but you will twitch. It will say, hey, I don't like that. If you don't, so the accelerator pedal comes from the floor. So it's fairly difficult to heel toe. But if you didn't heel toe, it did not like you. It didn't come around on me, but it would groan and kind of shudder.
It'll step out usually to the right regularly if you're not real careful.
Yeah. And I was trying to be real careful. And there was things that, every once in a while every time you made a little mistake, most of all the other cars that I'm used to driving, I can get away with it and say, oh, that's not something you should have done. And this car would be like, I would go, and then, okay, don't do that. And I noted, good. Next time around, don't do that. Don't do that. So it was fairly, I felt okay on Saturday. I did pretty well. Sunday, I felt like it was slipperier. I would say slippy. So I was not as fast and not as comfortable on Sunday. But again, wanted to make sure it's not our car. Wanted to make sure that we brought it home in one piece. So, and we were trying to win. So I think that's what I felt. Chris, what do you have to fill in on that?
It was fine. I don't necessarily understand some of the 944 love out there after having this weekend. Like the car was good. It wasn't a bad car at all. I guess I'd expected a little bit more. I don't know. Like
more performance, more handling.
Yeah, I guess more performance and easier handling. I mean, the car was set up pretty well. But I've had plenty of rear drive cars.
You've had plenty of rear drive because I've driven other 944s and I absolutely love them on a track, and I know they're underpowered, but I have a blast.
Yeah.
But I'm not countering your point. Just you by default, you do prefer front drive cars.
I've had more experience with them, but I have plenty of fun in rear drive stuff. Like I was having a great time with the Z, the 20 minutes I drove it, for example.
Or the Hobbs's BMWs, like my Hobbs's favorite car.
Hobbs's car is very
I
neutral.
don't want
all my old
BMWs under the bus. Was it ill prepared?
No. I think the car actually was really well prepared and set up and really, really well done.
Okay.
Like
that's
the
what I was
suspension
worried.
was good.
Did it need more tire?
No.
Did it need more?
No, it had. Chrissy, go ahead.
But Dean is one of the car owners. He has driven a lot of different cars, and he got in on Sunday and he was surprised at all of the things we're saying. So I think it may not be to what he thinks it should be.
He wasn't surprised at what we were saying. He was surprised that he was agreeing with what we were saying.
Yes, I apologize. Thank you for fixing that. Yeah. So he was surprised at the things that we were experiencing, we all experienced. He did not realize it was going to be that twitchy, that, like just feeling like it was almost not, it's kind of, it was reliably unreliable or something like that.
Maybe he had it just set to, quote, loose.
I don't think
know.
So.
It was neutral. It would understeer. It would oversteer. You just had to be very careful because the transition between on and off throttle was very abrupt and very significant and happened in this much of the pedal, like a tiny bit of the pedal. So you had to be really, really gentle.
That's the other part. I forgot. Yes. Your pedal travel was you're modulating the gas was like this. You can't see my fingers. They're not moving very much together.
That's from on to off. But once you were on, then you still had, more throttle to go. It didn't do a whole lot, but it was okay. I think the car was well set up. Had 245 with hand cooks on it. It had the right brakes. It had good quality shocks. The alignment was good. Like the tire wear was excellent all weekend. It's got a 21-gallon tank, which we sucked down almost 20 gallons out of that thing, and it was still running. So that was great. The steering is
1 gallon light means that you can have it on for 20 more minutes.
It's a 2-gallon light, but yeah.
I thought it said 1.
The steering is very communicative. Like it almost probably tells you too much because you're feeling so much, you're trying to fight it. But I had 6 hours in the car this weekend, so I got the hang of it by the end and was able to hustle it. But
was it just you two? Like, was Dean in the Firebird?
Chris Champion
Chris Champion. Yeah, we know
took a shift each day, and Dean took an hour on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah. And I know this is Jeff's thing, but I actually never got to ask you. No, because we're going to talk about the cars. Did you, Chris? Because I know you. We'll talk about the other cars. Did you get a chance to drive the Omega?
No,
we didn't drive anything.
No, I drove the Pontiac. I drove the Solstice in testing day. For 20 minutes. Tim sent me out and it said, "Oh yeah, go for it." And lap 2, it ran out of gas. So,
but we were all standing around and we thought he broke it. So I'm glad you didn't break it. It was just
when the Solstice was ours. You never drove it on the track, did you?
I drove it once for 20 minutes in testing day.
Oh, okay.
I have now officially driven it for double the amount.
So we were going to take Corey suggested that we take the Omega, but the timing didn't work out. So his stint timing was when Chris was in the car. So we never, and then it was packing time and stuff. We never got that. It didn't line up.
Because again, and I've said 1,000 times, I love the Omega. I do. It's my favorite.
Yeah. It looks fun, and some of the guys driving it were really wheeling it.
Yes.
It was really impressive.
Yes, they were.
There is a fantastic series of photographs that Nick got early on when Corey was driving, uncharacteristically Corey, and it goes full off into the dirt, and Corey just stays in it and dirt tracks it all the way through the outside of Riverside, and then puts it back onto the track after throwing up a rooster tail. It is beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, no one was mad. There was dust on the pavement anyway.
It is. My gosh.
The dust was something else. Like there was at least one time where there was so much dust that went across the track from someone spinning that all of traffic stopped. Basically,
because you don't know if the car is sitting in the middle of that dust.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And it was that thick. You couldn't see 10 feet in front of you to know what was in front of you. So you just
every time you could see it in close to you, you could see it far away from, because there's nothing there. I mean, there's a couple of hills every once in a while. You see the flag stations, but other than that, you can see clear across the track. So you can see there's a dust cloud over there. Are they off track? Okay, good. Did they go off and dump oil, or we don't know what? Very possibly. So the dirt actually makes a difference and makes it exciting.
And when a driver really goes into the dirt and spins, it's hilarious because it gets everywhere. And there was one car that came in and the guy was so dirty. Like his whole suit and everything was just looked like he went and rolled in it. It was so
mental.
bad.
I'm pretty sure you said that there were people that were coming out and they were like chewing it, right? Like just
absolutely. And this is the best part. I was judging for this weekend, if you guys haven't picked up on that. And I know we've probably picked up at least 2 or 3 new listeners. And if you're still listening, thank you.
Yay.
But I would have folks come in and they're covered in dust. The car's covered in dust. They're like, why did I get black flagged? Do you remember leaving the track? I don't know. Maybe. Okay, buddy. I tell you what, just clap your hands together and see how much dust comes off of that.
Yeah, exactly. Like you hit like the old what was it the cowboy movies?
Yeah.
Like they look like this.
With the cowboys.
Yeah, that was. I felt like we almost did that. Everything was dusty. I felt like I just a lot of grit everywhere.
Mother Button Willow notes that they've fixed the track bathroom motion sensors, so now it's actual light switches, so you don't have to constantly move your arms, which is great.
And I do real quick while I've got it up here, I want to do a share screen if I get this to work. Yes, hopefully this plays. And this is Nick Pond's beautiful photography.
I'm looking.
Waiting.
Click on share.
Waiting.
Click on share. Click share. Not working.
It says you have started sharing, but we don't see anything.
Oh,
double click.
Gosh. Yeah, let's try this one
Our
more
YouTube
time.
listeners are like, this is so great.
Yeah, this is the worst.
Oh, sorry. This is Button Willow at night, people. That's what.
This is Button Willow at night. This is as black as Jeff's heart.
Okay.
That's what it is.
This is failed miserably. It's a gorgeous thing. We're gonna put it on our social media
of mental soul.
Yeah. Keep talking because my computer is now arguing with me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I'm trying to think what else about Button Willow. The having the tire shop right there was nice. The fuel ended up being $5.50 a gallon instead of the $4.99 I said last weekend. They didn't have their prices updated, but they never ran out. That was all good. They had a seemingly endless supply of ice for $8 a bag.
Yeah. We got plenty of it.
Yep. Everything was kept in good order all weekend. Like they kept the trash emptied and everything seemed fine.
Bathrooms were clean. I mean, they were.
It seemed like it was pretty well run overall. Yeah. Generally totally fine.
Totally fine.
I saw a flip.
Yeah.
You did. Apparently Image Flip just throws my computer into don't worry, you know what? We're going to put this up on our social medias because it's a brilliant shot of a brilliant car from a very good friend of ours.
If you send it to me, we can make it the cover of the YouTube channel.
Especially if it's animated. Yes, it will.
I don't think I can do animated.
Whatever. We'll figure something out
on YouTube thing. Anyway, so great. Tell us about like the rest of the team, the rest of the cars. How did all that go? We heard about your experience. We heard about
who
sliding Omega.
Because I've been out here for a couple of years, and Corey has introduced me to his extended tribe of just absolutely great people. Who out there that you two haven't met that you're like, oh man, this person is great?
Corey.
Okay. Yeah.
Pretty much.
And his friends, and like just the whole team, like and
like we've met Tim briefly before. You know, he
Tim's
was on
wife
the other
is
Pinto
awesome.
Team. Right. Exactly.
Did Tim barbecue? Who was doing the barbecue?
Yeah, everybody.
Tim.
But Tim definitely did, and it was delicious.
I saw it on the Instas.
And we find Tim's wife finally came out. But yes, Corey is like a lighthouse for awesome. Just awesome
lighthouse
people.
are awesome. Don't you usually
people
stay away
gravitate.
from the lighthouse?
All right,
Isn't
so
that how it
well,
works?
I don't want to say he's like a bug light for awesome bugs because they
That's
get
even
zapped.
worse.
But yes,
Because they get there, they get zapped. Yeet.
right. Corey has built just this incredible group of amazing friends by being Corey, and yeah, these are just great people.
Yeah.
Friday night we're all sitting around doing steaks, and they just start doing it around the table, and Chrissy comes up with a great idea of the talking dildo. So everyone has you have the double ender, which they put into their checked luggage.
Oh, we
And
brought
so-
that, and it was
Yes.
very.
You have to hold it. It's like it's the talking
It's the
stick.
microphone. That was the microphone.
And the first couple people were like, I don't know, and then everyone like got right into it, and it was
Right?
like normal.
Throw
Yeah.
it at people,
That's
and they're
hilarious.
like, and this happened on Saturday night. We brought it to the party because the party was right outside of our garages, and we throw it to somebody, and one guy in this little group would be like, "Oh, that's funny." Everybody else is like, "Ew, what?"
Ooh.
And then I had epic throwing ability and aim on
Yeah.
Saturday.
Nick Pond questioned Chrissy's accuracy with a double-ended dildo,
I'm
and
like, I've been doing this for a long time.
She double tapped people, like she would call her shot. She'd be like, "Oh, I'm
Yeah.
totally gonna get him right in the chest." Bam! And Nick's like, "Oh God, you really are."
Yeah, overhand, underhand, it didn't matter. I was getting people left and right.
See, it's
So,
funny because on the East Coast, they don't stay for the party. Usually you don't see Nick Pond after like 7:00 at night.
everybody stayed for
There's
the
nowhere to
party.
go. At Bunmouth.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just a wonderful potluck.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody like nobody that showed up was being skimpy. It was just some great stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
and so
really.
much food. Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody brought it. Yeah, so we were worried that it was going to turn into Thompson, and it was not at all. It was pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Awesome. We still haven't got a review. That we got the WAP and the Firebird. How did they do?
And
Who drove those? How'd they do?
The Firebird was a normal Sorry 40 crew. It was Dean and Matt and Peter, and the car was fast, and then it broke, and then it was fast, and it broke, and it
Well,
ran, and
it
used a
we
lot of
It was
found-
gas.
top.
Yes.
It was top 10ing for a while. I said.
Yeah,
Found out today it ran most of Sunday, if not part of Saturday, on 6 cylinders. They are down to 75 psi in 2 of the cylinders,
Oh.
Not
Yeah,
surprised.
it'll fire at 75. It just won't have everything it has.
and they
Yeah.
still turned a 218 in that on Sunday.
Not
Yeah.
surprised.
I think
Just
the
requires
the
more
fastest
pedal.
car was what, a 2.
The eyesore run at eyesore ran at
211.
211.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to
Oof.
say.
And I
Yeah.
got
And
a
the-
222 out of the Porsche.
No, you got
Yeah.
a 219.
222.
Oh, okay, I thought I looked it up, but yeah,
222, and I don't mind dying.
anyway.
There's a lot
What
of
happened
trust
to the
involved in that one.
solstice? Because the solstice was
Trans.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't go into
Uh,
fourth gear well. I think it was because everything's moving around on its mounts too much, and then a bit of the exhaust
It had
fell
an
off. They had to
exhaust-
bring it in and
exhaust
weld
problem.
that too. So this is like the first time the Solstice has ever had problems.
Issues. Yeah, it
So,
was
yeah.
surprising.
Mm-hmm.
But it was pretty quick when it was going for what it
Yeah,
is.
we had a lot of, fortunately,
And
a lot of the time of the weekend, we had most cars out of the garage. So
Yeah.
there wasn't one car sitting the whole time.
Yeah.
The Solstice slowed down and had more time in the garage because it had more increased problems. Firebird came in. I mean, the Porsche really didn't have, had oil, little bit of low oil.
Yeah.
That's about
It
the
was-
only thing that
It
we
was
were
burning a lot of
struggling
oil,
with.
so we'd have to come in and top it up, basically. So, but because we weren't trying to win anything, we just like come in. Or one
Yeah,
time I
just,
forgot
come
I
in.
forgot my water, so they came in. I'm thirsty, and just to get my water. Right.
We're like,
Well,
oh no,
what do I
what's
care?
wrong? What's wrong? You're like, oh, I want to drink.
It's a desert for crying out loud.
It,
Someone
it
give
was
me
hot
something to
and it
drink.
was, no, it was
Well,
thirsty and
We're
hot.
not trying to win anything. What's the
Nope.
point?
and
So,
it's dusty.
we didn't.
You think it's a little, might need a little
yeah,
dust.
exactly.
It was also really dry. Everything was dry. My nose was dry. My throat was
Well,
dry.
and that's you're in the
Right.
desert, so
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
So Mental, who's used to the desert, how did your race go over from the judging stand?
We had the new teams did what new teams do, which was screw up constantly. But
Show up unprepared, welding sucks.
yes,
Slapco brand seatbelts.
Slapco brand seatbelts in one of the teams.
What was it? Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yes.
I posted it to our social media. Did you see it?
Oh, I
Yes.
missed. I was in the middle of the woods. at
And
Gettysburg.
I
Never
think
internet.
I think my proudest moment of the weekend is we had one team and they were in a boring BMW and they were doing, typical BMW stuff, and they had turned a absolute crusher of a lap, but they're just being way too aggro. And they had a little contact. I brought the guy in. He's like, "What? I don't know what's the problem." And I'm staring at the damage on the car and I'm like, "Do you remember hitting something?" "I don't know, maybe." "What do you mean maybe?" "Well, okay, somebody went off and then came into me." I'm like, "Well, okay, well, that's contact. You have to come see me for contact." And immediately it's just one of those things. And I'm like, all right, you know what? It's time for a Bob Ross. And the guy in the car is like, "Screw this. I'm putting it on the trailer. I'm not doing this dumb crap." And
Really?
But partially Judge Kristen came over and just her soothing presence. And by the end of it, we were all laughing and chuckling, and they did the Bob Ross and they got the car back on the track.
What
So
was it? They're like first, second, third, like when at what point did you give them the Bob Ross?
Oh yeah. This is their third for the second day in a row.
Oh, okay.
So
it was appropriate.
Third
Bob
penalty.
Ross
Yeah,
time.
exactly. No, third penalty. You're getting a bit of a pushback on this one. And, that was really the only one. The new teams that kept screwing up, they're getting like, their third penalty. And I'm like, guys, seriously, I have to hammer you now. They're like, "This is hilarious."
Yeah, give us something fun.
And I'm like, okay, I'll keep giving you penalties, but stop screwing up or I got to park you. So no, but it was almost a Midwest race. 99% of the racers. "Yeah, I know. I did this and I did that. And I'm sorry. And this happened. And blah, blah, blah.
I ran out of talent.
I'm going to get out of the car. We're going to put Fred in here. It'll be fine." So I had a stack of really horrible penalties and I got to use none of the horrible ones. But as you mentioned, I a lot of the promos for the second penalties. I got a lot of the promos for the iSim racing. So there's a lot of people that were pushing the Faith Insurance Agency and a lot of people doing Bearded Sim Racer Productions. And so, yeah, that was fun.
Awesome.
In general, I thought the racing was pretty decent. Like there wasn't too much aggro-ness. It wasn't too aggressive. Like a lot, it was close at times. There were some cars that were a little too much, but I think it was a good solid medium on the craziness.
The aggro scale.
Yeah.
Like
for a Northeast race, we would have said, "Man, this is great." But
yeah, it's like it goes from like Midwestern nice to medium to California,
a Minnesota race with 30 cars. Oh,
to
no,
Jersey,
no,
right?
That's
how like Jersey's at one end, Minnesota's at the other end.
Yeah.
Canada. We haven't raced in Canada. If we ever go to Motorsport, that'll be
it's coming. We're going to Canada.
All right.
I'll go to Canada.
Not this year.
Go.
Not this year.
No, we're not.
It's not because we don't want to, but because they won't let us.
They're not going to let us in.
But Jeff, you've got one heading in there. We talked about the potluck, but of course it's Saturday night at the racetrack in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and it was somebody's birthday, I think. So why don't you all talk about the party?
Party was off the hook.
Yeah,
off the
there
chain.
we go.
It was off the hook. Even just our small party, the first night we had Friday, as Mental said, we had steaks grilled and salad. And that's and pasta salad. Really, and we sat on the back of the truck and it was great. Like it was low key, but we probably had 20, maybe more people in our group. So it was already a party. Had a really good time. And then Saturday was a potluck. Everybody showed up. We decided there was a hot tub. Did we mention that yet?
No,
there was a hot tub.
No. It helps that none of the cars really needed much work. Like the Porsche, we rotated the tires and put more oil in it.
And I was kind of on fuel duty with Jackie, and we went early because I was like, I want to be back here to party. I was like, we're going now. And they're like, well, we might need more. I don't care. We're going now. Yeah. And so especially we were fueling 3 of the 4 cars. We were trying to gather fuel for all of them. So we had a lot of extra and lots of fill. So anyway, we had a hot tub, and we put the hot tub on the back of a flatbed trailer, and then we drove it around.
Who brought the hot tub?
Matt,
Tim.
Okay.
Tim.
Matt and Tim. Okay.
Tim.
So it was your
Tim
hot tub.
Found it.
It wasn't a hot tub.
Yeah. It's the exact same one as the East Coast hot tub. Tim saw it and went, "Oh, we totally have to do this on the West Coast now."
Yeah, they got it used from somebody, which is great.
It's fine. It was fine.
Come
No,
on,
it was fine, dude.
What we do with it? Come on.
Right,
So
it's about as dirty as ours.
But-
So
could it be any worse? I mean,
no, it could be. Yes, and
But if we
you
had it
don't
on
clean
the
it and
trailer,
dry it.
and we started then to do laps around the paddock while playing appropriate douche music, and then we got hop-ons, and then we got a better stereo from a hop-on, and then we got another cool with claws from a hop-on. We
Nice.
got lights.
Yeah, we had people that were just.
It kept evolving as we kept doing 5
it's a
mile
real
an hour
Burning
laps.
Man kind of thing.
Oh,
Like,
it was
art
awesome. We had-
evolves as
Yeah.
the weekend goes.
And,
And I was-
and they weren't
I
the
was
only ones
driving the
going through
truck.
they weren't the only ones going through the paddock. Super Troopers had to do a head gasket swap. And they'd done one that afternoon that had failed because they didn't wait long enough. And they're like, I know exactly how to make sure that the RTV cures this time. And they set a bar up on the back of their car and forced themselves to push the car around the paddock for the appropriate amount of time. So you get the hot tub would come by and hand out drinks, and then the Super Troopers would come by and hand out drinks, and then just randos. And I had taken to my Sajeev thing of just wander through the paddock and talk to people. I spent way too much time hanging out with Jeff Glucker and that whole crew over there while they were doing the engine swap in their Ranchero. By the way, Jeff totally wants all of us to write articles for him, so we need to do that. And then I ended up next door to it was a chalkboard Miata, and somebody had wrote party racing on it, and I told them the don't wheel me bro story. They erased it and they wrote in the door insert
Don't
wheel here.
It's a nice.
And
awesome.
it was just I spent some time with that green danged old dirt track Camaro. This is like the third time I've seen them. I love this team. And they have so gotten into the spirit of Lemons. His spouse was so upset they didn't win the Road Mangler Cup, but I love wandering through. The firemen were there, the LA firemen, and that number 75. And so you had the 2 world-class mobile parties, then you had some smaller scale mobile parties, and then just everybody was doing the Lemons thing. The garage doors was open. If you wander into someone's garage, you're getting handed a drink. It was just such classic old school. This is what it's supposed to be about Lemons.
Some of the drinks you were not supposed to drink.
Whatever
Some
that stuff Super Troopers
Orange
is making.
stuff.
I watched them pour the 8 things that go
Some
into
kind
it.
of warrior Zambini
And
punch.
as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh no!" Oh, no.
It tasted good. It didn't taste that bad.
And everybody's like, "Oh, free drinks. That's great." And Nick Pond looks at me and goes, "Don't drink that." I was like,
now with warrior Zambini punch, now with extra roofies.
it was bad.
But it's you're getting roofied at a Lemons race, which means that it means worst case you get put in a cot that doesn't belong to you and have a blanket thrown over you because nobody's gonna mess with you.
No one's gonna mess with you. You mean you're gonna pass out and not remember it. That's what I was really
funny.
And I'm giving away some of the wrap up video, but the heroic fix, the Nissan Sentra. They had one good mechanic, and she's kind of guiding them through the Chilton's manual on how to do a head gasket swap. And the rest of them, they're
start by unhooking the negative cable on the battery.
And they disassembled so many things they didn't have to disassemble. and they said it was awful because they're trying to work on the car, and every 5 minutes somebody's walking by going, "Hey, you guys are great out there. Here, have a beer." They're like, "No, stop.
Drink.
We can't drink.
Yes.
We're trying to fix a car." And
I've
5
been
minutes
there.
later,
Stop
they do it
trying
again.
to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there though. I've been there like kind of like wrenching, and I'm like, I gotta stop. I can't move that cup over there so that, or have a water.
Yeah.
That's funny. So eyesore goat, right? I mean, their car is beat. The car is beat. The car is
well driven,
and they're just are they as goat as they seem to be from afar?
I didn't talk to them all weekend aside from BS.
Yeah.
I didn't see them. I don't know where they were parked.
One of our drivers found them to be a bit aggressive in one spot. Anytime they were around me, they were like, I remember them coming out behind me. The first time I said, "Is that eyesore? Kind of looks like eyesore." And they waited until it was clear, and then they will go by and they're gone.
Yeah.
You don't see them again.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you should.
Mm-hmm.
And you had your previous winners, you mad bro. They did not have their best weekend. that's a fast car. They're fast drivers. Hella Shitty was out there, and
another goat team, right?
Yeah, well, they were close. They were on the same lap, and we ended a little bit early. So
90
so
seconds.
they were pissed.
90 seconds.
Sloman's Miata was really fast until something terrible happened with the rear wheel.
We saw the wheel going like this.
That was it was. I think we have video of that coming through. Pulling off the track and very slowly wobbling its way back over there. So at least now he's got the engine running, because that car's competed well in other series, but he has never had it last a Lemons race.
And he still didn't, but it was really quick while he was out there. So.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a question to go around the horn. What do I need to know about Button Willow that was surprised you, or I should know before I go?
Good question.
Chrissy, go ahead. Don't wait.
So I remembered it being boring, but that's probably because I wasn't driving very fast. Whatever car I was
It's always
driving.
boring at 30 miles an hour.
Sure. While we say there's not much elevation change, the little elevation changes that were there made it more challenging. So there were a lot of the corners, the hills that were there. Many of them were blind on the other side. So you had to kind of trust that there was track on the other side, which was one of my constant issues, is keeping your eyes up and remembering that there's something on the other side. So I think that's the biggest thing, is that it was actually pretty challenging. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot of corners. There's a lot of things that you can continually try differently to go faster. So that's where, I think it was good.
I think I would tell you to pick one of the other tracks first as an away track, because even though it was better than I remembered, it still wasn't particularly exciting.
It
was fine. I'd call it a mid-pack track, but I would rather go to, if I'd never been to the West, I'd rather go to Sonoma or the Ridge, or from what I've heard, Thunderhill is.
Everybody was appalled that we had not been to Thunderhill. So
So I would rather go to any of those before.
So take it off your bucket list.
Yeah, we went to this because of
the party. It was
which
the pantless Matt.
Did not disappoint.
Do we say how old he is, or we just say birthday party?
Oh, whatever.
Well, he's younger than everybody but Chrissy, so
he's 40. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
No, and he looks good, so screw it. Yeah, own it.
Yeah.
And he does.
Yeah. So
all right.
Overall, great time. Really happy we went.
I am becoming more and more of a fan of Button Willow, because I spend more and more time out there. So I would argue that just if you come there, plan on being self-contained. Just stay at the track, bring your food, bring everything. You don't have to have an RV, because the garages are pretty nice. Come find me. I'll show you where the secret good showers are.
But only 10 of you per race. Because if you too many people, then you got to wait in line.
I mean, the women's, I hear, was much better than the men's. So there's that.
The men's side had an epic ant colony going on.
Nice.
That's pretty gross.
Epic.
Yeah. But I think that also, and you, Chrissy, you guys touched on this. It's a good training track. Because it forces you to get your eyes up, and there's a lot, and you can race that thing depending on what organization you run it with, and never run the same track.
Yeah.
And if you go off track, you're not going to get hurt except your lungs.
Some of the dips would kind of probably mess up with your car a little bit, because there's plenty of.
There's no Armco to hit. There's nothing to hit.
You can go. You can go sideways for a very long time, and
should have brought the Z there.
I mean,
yep.
And if you're on the West,
but we'd still be cleaning it.
Yeah. So. If you're on the West Coast, this is a good time to point out the Vintage Auto Racing Association, VERA, does their annual driver school, University of Vera, the U of V, January of this year. So check out veraracing.com. It's going to be at Button Willow in January. Won't be nearly as hot. And it is not, I would not put it at the same level of the Great Lakes NASA, but it is a solid quality program. You will get a lot of track time, $550, 2 days driving school.
Do you need a vintage car?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not. In fact, you don't even need a car. They'll rent you a race race car there at the track, or you can bring your street car.
So when you say it won't be very hot, it's actually going to be freaking cold. I've been there in December, and
Chilly.
it was.
It's
my gosh, I was so cold.
It's January. It's chilly. You bring a coat.
We were there in December. It
you're
was
fine.
20 degrees at night. Like there was frost on our tent.
We had to warm ourselves in the rental. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
it
global
was-
climate change, everybody.
Okay, fine. That was 10 years ago.
We don't. The last I was there, the last January there, I think it was getting down into the 40s overnight.
Oh,
Okay.
That's nice.
Well,
Yeah,
it was
so-
cold
so,
when we were
yeah.
there.
Or get a hold of us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. I'll tell you all about it because I'll be one of the instructors this year because I have too much fun going out there and getting new folks involved in the sport. It's a good time.
Nice.
I got an idea for bribes for next time, Mental.
Oh,
Yes.
Anyone who's good at RV repair, how about an initiative?
Oh, that would have been awesome.
what? What was wrong with the RV?
RV repair.
Oh, my
The RV is
gosh.
wonderful. We love it, but it gets jankier every time we see it.
Mostly because I'm too cheap to buy parts
I mean,
for it,
the
'cause I
door-
only
the
use it
door
like 3
gave me
times right now.
The
Well,
door
so,
gave
I
me
think
some problems.
Put the bribe list out. A new door latch, a new driver's side mirror.
Yeah, these
the
are all
Wakeman RV suffers
these are all specific items. By the way.
deterioration.
You can't just go onto Amazon and type in RV mirror.
So you put the
I-
make, the model of the year, and you say,
Right,
I need
yeah.
a latch.
So before you spend money, get a hold of us, and I'll tell you what part I
That'll
need.
be a
but yes,
what a great bribe that would be.
Yeah.
that'll totally work at Sonoma, where I won't have the RV, but we'll still need these things. So
Yes.
The entropy that happens to an RV that travels across country is surprising.
Well, and Chris, you're like, hey, dude, how come you haven't activated the slide? Oh, it quit working after I had that blowout coming back from Denver. That's why. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's great.
Oh, it's tough when you can't do the slide out.
Why is
Yeah.
why did we not have the water turned on all the time? Oh, coming back my last trip to Button Willow,
The pump broke.
I bottomed out and I have no sewer plumbing now, so all of my tanks just straight dump out. So.
That's a desert. Whatever. All right. Last bit of roundup. Does anybody want to encapsulate a Yelp rating of the entire weekend? Not just the track, but the party and everything.
4.5 stars.
Out of
5.
5. That's what
All right,
Yelp
there,
is.
okay.
Stars.
Yeah, I'll go with 4.5 too. I was going to say 5, but the timing was kind of
No,
messy.
like 100 character or less
Oh.
reviews. Like, loved it. Would go again.
Great
Yeah.
party.
Order the
Lots of seat time.
lobster.
Well prepared car.
Plenty of food,
Order the
plenty of
claws.
drinks. It was great. We had a great time. We really
Great
did.
people. Yeah.
Great. It was
I'm
awesome.
jealous.
We had
Awesome,
fun
awesome.
the whole time. It was
Yes.
Yeah,
It was
that's
awesome. Because there was always a car pitting. There was always something going on. You'd sit down and then all of a sudden you'd say, oh, somebody else is, you're going somewhere? Let's go there. Oh, we need this. And, what's Mental doing? And, there's cars in. And,
that is true.
And,
Chris came
like-
over and sat with me for like an hour. It was great.
oh, did he?
Yeah.
Weird. Oh,
Like
I
you were
must
in
have
the
been in the car.
Weird.
I was
You
sitting
were.
too. I was in the
Weird.
car.
He sat with you for an hour? How
Well,
could he handle it?
Just came by.
That's not what
came
I
by.
said. Weird is because I didn't know that happened. No, we slept only when we needed to. We ate plenty. It was great. It was awesome. And it was
That's
a
great.
birthday and
I'm definitely jealous I missed
Yeah.
it, but there was no way this weekend was going to work out for me. All right. Shall we move on to the final segment of the show?
Sure.
sure.
All right. Since I didn't have much to say during the entire Button Willow thing, I decided to do some heavy lifting, and
Please.
I have what do we call this? Around the horn? We'll do around the horn. I was listening to the Garage Heroes in Training podcast today, and Bill asked a question of the everyday drivers people. Who I realized they probably think we stole the name from them, but I had no idea who they were when we
Oh yeah,
started
no, they're a
talking 5
YouTube
years
channel.
ago.
They're based out of Colorado.
Yeah.
They do a lot of new
Yeah,
car reviews.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, no, they're good. It's a good YouTube show, completely different subject.
Yeah. So everyday drivers, not everyone racers. We didn't steal the name, we promised. But anyway, Bill had a long question that went too long and they didn't understand it. And then he had to explain it for 20 minutes. But when he finally got it, the very first part of the question was what we're going to do today for Around the Horn. What is the cheapest car that you think you could daily drive, have fun daily driving? It'll get your, tickles going and when you drive it. And since we are a racing podcast, you consider it trackable every now and then. So what is the cheapest you think you could get away going out, having a daily, tracking it every now and then? And specifically, are there any must-haves or don't wants? Does that make sense? I have mine. I could go first if that makes sense for you, if you need a moment to think.
Go for it, just to give everybody okay, never mind. I was to say go and give everyone a scale, but if you got it,
I could do mine first. I found multiple 2,500-ish turbo Saabs.
And it's a manual.
And I found a manual wagon.
This is like not fair that you did your own research for Around the Horn. This is not
fair.
But
I'm giving you a moment if you wanted, and I put it in the notes if you wanted to go find one.
That's pretty sexy.
Here's what I need.
Give me that first picture. Give me the full on profile. Click.
This guy has the weirdest camera.
There he is.
I don't know. Fisheye lens.
He's like a fisheye lens on his thing. I don't know what's going on with it.
I'm a fan of the Saab 9000 turbo. I've had 3 of them. Those
it's
a 9.5, so it's
a 9.5. So here's what I need. I need air conditioning. So you're gonna have and it'd be nice if I could get one that doesn't smell like Professor books and disappointment because they didn't get published.
Leather-bound books and rich mahogany.
Give me $3,000 so I can get the AC working and get the pipe smoke out of it, the tweed and pipe smoke. I think that is the cheapest thing I could drive and actually not commit harry-carry. Chris, you said you had something.
Yeah, I'm thinking somewhere in the $6,000 to $8,000 range will get me either a Miata of some sort, like either an NB or NC, like if you have a ratty NC or a nicer NB, or a 07 to 10-ish Civic Si. Both of them I would be perfectly happy driving every day. In fact, I have daily driven those kind of things in the past. They're totally fine and they're trackable and they're easy to work on and parts are relatively inexpensive. And I agree. AC is a must. Manual transmission is a must. And I think a 4-cylinder with some spunk is good.
How about this? An like 06 SI manual transmission, $4,500.
It's like you're selling this. This is funny.
Yeah, something like
it's even a color you like, probably.
Do you
want
this? Do you want this car? So can I clarify, because I am not understanding one of your prefaces here. You said the cheapest car you can daily.
Yeah.
So you needed but 4,500, you can find cheaper cars than that. So I'm trying to
cheapest car you could handle that you would not feel like, fuck, I hate this thing.
Oh, okay.
And that you could take to the track every now and then.
Okay.
I want a can't handle this thing. I want, hey, I'm having a good time on my way to work.
Yes. My answer was going to be Miata. I was going to go NA because I was I thought it had to be the cheapest. So I was hoping for my minimum are interior. So I was kind of level down on no, it needs interior because it gets stupid hot. I've been in a car that doesn't have an interior. It's terrible. So I can raise my level up a little bit if I can afford not the $800 one, what I just found, which in NA for $800 is going to be awesome.
We had one of those.
I know. And that's why I was could I daily it? Sure.
Do you have one or should I
for years.
Pull one up?
I did it for years as well. No, you can. You probably found a better one than I have, but
I don't know about better.
Oh, that's cute.
I found a blue one.
That's not terrible. Yeah.
It has something at the top is in a little rip in it. Doesn't look totally roached out. It's got daisies.
I love
it. Black, of course.
Yeah, black daisies. That's great. Manual transmission.
And it has an interior.
It has an interior, but
It
$5,000.
looks better than my interior of my old Miata. So
Yes, it does. That's not saying much.
Yeah.
So yes,
Facts.
great. I'm glad you found this because that's what I would say I would love an NB or an NC if I can afford them.
It's weird that NAs
cheapest.
are really coming up in price now.
Oh, well, I'd rather have an
might
NB
be
and
able to snag an NB. For the
NBs
same
and NAs are the
price.
same money, and they have been for a while because they're kind of the same. They're going to the same market. NCs got cheap for a while and now are back up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Right. And it's because there's a limited supply of them and they have been consumed.
Yeah.
Or this ridiculous market we're in, and once gets a little easier, then they will start to be but then NDs are going to be almost as cheap as NCs, and then
which is fine.
Yeah,
that's
because
quite
NDs
compelling.
are actually very good.
Absolutely. I'll take that any day. So depending on what my cheapest that I can deal with is allowed, I would rather have the NC.
Okay, I think I found
NA.
a better one for you. Let me share real quick, see if you like this one better. It's $500 cheaper. Little lifted
Ooh,
off-road
Safari.
Safari.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
No. We don't want that. It's got a bar in it, though.
It's
You can
kind of
autocross
amazing. All right, thank
Okay,
you.
I'm sorry.
That's mine. Mental.
What do you got?
And I'm going to steal Chrissy's answer. I'm going to go with Miata. I just today because Facebook, I keep saying this, marketplace has been weaponized. There was a $2,000 Miata being sold actually on the base, and I can't find it again because I think it's already been sold. So here's one for $2,300. I don't necessarily need air conditioning because I have a very short commute. Here's another one for $2,200. So we've got these things everywhere, and there's going to be issues with them. But
that $2,200 one says has blown motor, must be towed. So
It's great.
But I can pull another
$400.
$400
It has no engine.
No, we're not doing that.
It does. Here's the thing: is this blue one here runs? He wants $2,000 for that. That's all part of the ad. So
blue one has no title. Red one has a title, but no
what's
engine.
the difference?
For
Buy 'em
$2,000
both.
for $2,000, you get them both, and you make a running one.
Yeah.
With a legal title.
Because you need another project. I guess that wasn't part of the game here, was it?
No.
No, we're talking
No.
the worst thing that I could possibly have that I could drive back and forth. And even when it's brutally hot, I could absolutely run a Miata for 12 miles in the afternoon. In the morning, it'll be fine. In the afternoon, come back. And, if it gets dinged or scratched or scuffed, don't care.
Doesn't matter.
Absolutely don't
Does
care.
not matter.
If I take it on track and I blow the motor, don't care. Go to the junkyard, get another one, drop it in. I think around here, and it's still going to be horribly slow, but on surface streets, I don't care. And I would actually just rather have the NA. I know the NBs and the Cs and Ds are much better. There's a character to the
more
NA
car,
that I love.
less Miata.
I don't think the NB is any less Miata than the NA, having owned them both.
Mm-hmm.
And from a driver's perspective, you're right. I think from we're getting into taste and character and charm. I just like the pop-up headlights, and I think the NA is more Miata, literally just for that dumb reason, knowing that probably the price range I'm looking at.
Headlights.
Yeah, the price range after I immediately get it, I'll drive around like this.
Of course.
Have to drive, or have to get up like it, when I actually do turn the headlights on and like jump out of the car to stoplight and manually lift this one up. And this is
put a stick in it.
But when your commute is short and you live in an environment where you won't die if the car breaks down, you do start opening yourself up to a lot more just horribly bad decisions. Reference my 928. So
how about the truck? How about the
engine's out of the truck? There is a plan for the truck. I'm trying to put a roof in my house.
Your plan is like Chris's plan to be like, we should just go put the boat in the water again. No, we have a window to install. You have things to do. That's
I hear your words, but all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. And Chris works hard. He went to college. He has a good house.
We also partied we flew to California and partied all weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. This is
hard work.
This is justification. Young people, if you're listening to this, find a trade that you love and go to a trade school, or find a subject that you love and go to college for that. But work hard and build a good career so that when you are at this age, you know what would be great? Flying to Florida, buying a supercar. Oh, you know what would be great? Let's go to California and not remember most of it because we were drunk. Work hard and reap the benefits of that hard work.
Becomes so philosophical.
The more you know. We need the star to come across. Oh, well, let's put this to bed. Do we have any clue what we're talking about next week?
No.
We'll
figure it out.
Not worried.
Or we won't.
You brought up that white paper. I think that'd be a great one. Yeah,
okay.
We'll talk.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Would be another edition of the Driving Better series, if that's what we decide to do. Thank you for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We'll hope you join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's totally free. Then go to iTunes. Oh, go on.
And I want to go to iTunes and give us a rating. And this is how the internet works. Even if you've been listening to us the whole time, just give us a rating and make it positive and like us, because that's how other people find us.
It's true.
This is how, and they'll find not just us, they'll find Apex Adjacents, they'll find Garage Heroes and Trainings. Just leave like a 3-word, you are good, GUD. But that's how the internet works. Please just do that.
Yes. And the iTunes ratings helps everybody, even on the Androids. So, yeah, there it is. If you watch us on YouTube, talk to us down there in the doodly-doo, and we'll talk back to you, and that will get more people to watch the YouTubes. We're out of music because we are talking so much. Oh, my gosh. Even if you hate us, it's fine. If you have any questions or show ideas, must turn off the music before it goes. There you go, to something that will get us. There we go. Talk to us. Drop a show No, that wasn't one of us. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. You can still text us, mental, to be honest with you, 484-243-0455. Find us on the Insta tweets at everyone.racers, YouTube, Facebook, even Reddit right now, which is /E1R. Thanks again, and until next week, keep the shiny side up, unless you've been driving at the butt. Then we know it's just all dusty. Keep those wheels down.